He would never drop his sword again. It had been a weak excuse, one he no longer accepted. Encred finally understood. There was a profound difference between the way his enemies attacked and the way he did. On the battlefield, that difference was decisive. His blows lacked conviction. His sword betrayed his fear. That's why he died over and over, because he had no confidence in the weapon he carried. His opponent always struck with ruthless clarity and mercy, a mercy forged in the intent to kill. Encred would charge at Ra, intent to stab and slay, but the sword would slip from his hand. Again and again he was struck down. Every day, the same cycle. Every day he trained with Rem, inching forward, slowly, painfully. The 101st day passed. No change. Then the 124th day arrived. That day, Rem struggled to block his commander's attacks. The final blow nearly killed him. But for the first time, Encred's sword didn't fly from his hand. Blood dripped from his torn palm, yet he grinned. His arm trembled, his muscles throbbed, but he smiled. Rem stared at him in disbelief. Had he gone mad? No. He had mastered the thrust. The same deadly thrust that had ended him so many times on the battlefield. That evening, when battle came again, Encred moved faster than ever. All of his fury and desire to kill surged into one strike. His enemy raised his sword to block, but Encred's blade slipped through the gap. The enemy's helmet saved him, barely. They fought, savage, unrelenting. The first attempt to pierce the throat failed. Encred took a blow to the neck. Blood spilled, but he held his ground. He didn't close his eyes. He didn't drop his sword. He met his opponent's gaze and spoke again. "I see the pain in you. That's why you strike with mercy." His opponent raised the blade. "Tomorrow, you die," Encred said coldly. The killer laughed. "For those who die now, there is no tomorrow." And he drove his sword into Encred's chest. The amulet on Encred's neck shimmered with soft, ghostly light. Then, the military tent again, the beetle in Rem's boot again. On the 125th day, Encred asked Rem for greaves, a shield, and a dagger. "I'll pay you back," he said. Rem was stunned. Encred had never asked for anything before. Something was different about him. His squad noticed, too. Their commander moved with deadly purpose. His eyes burned with the will to win. He had died countless times. He had felt unbearable pain. Could he ever truly win, even if he challenged fate 10,000 times? Would he wake up again if he survived? Or would tomorrow finally come? No matter. He was stronger now. He would not give up. He would break this wall. He had earned the heart of the beast. He had mastered the thrusting strike. And he would never squander such a gift. That day he wore new armor and armed himself carefully. It was time to take it further. The trumpets sounded. The battle began. Encred led his squad forward. The battlefield stretched before him, the same battlefield he had crossed so many times. The reason he had survived, despite lacking natural talent, was simple: preparation, luck, and composure. He hadn't always died to the same foe. On day 46, a soldier with a spiked club crushed his shoulder. On day 47, he dodged that attack, only for a second enemy to smash his head. On day 71, a downed soldier cut off his leg. On day 89, an axe thrower split his skull. But now, Encred moved like a shadow. He struck first. He avoided pitfalls. He finished off fallen foes before they could rise. He threw daggers with precision. Finally, he saw V about to be killed by an arrow. He raised his shield just in time, but he knew what came next. The sniper, Eagle Claw, was watching. There was no time to deal with him now. And then, the wall. The enemy he had met again and again. A killer born for war. Their swords clashed. Encred blocked with his shield. He realized dodging and lunging wouldn't be enough. This enemy was no monster, just a man, a genius among soldiers. Encred closed in, head butted him, threw off his balance. He used the unorthodox techniques he had seen from the Venan mercenaries. The enemy struck again, aiming for Encrid's throat, but Encrid already knew the move. He parried, countered, and swung with all his strength. Steel shattered. The enemy's sword broke into fragments. At that moment, Eagleclaw fired. The arrow flew, but a thrown axe split the shaft mid-air, saving Encrid. His sword plunged into his enemy's throat. Rem had saved him. The killer dropped. As he died, Encrid said the words he had heard so many times. "I will show you mercy." Then he raised his blade and took the man's head. The wall was broken, brick by brick, but no rest came. A monster leapt onto the field. Encrid barely escaped. His face twisted with rage and despair. How unlucky. His squad rushed to him. Frog entered the battlefield and slammed Encrid to the ground. The beast looked at the fallen warrior and muttered bitterly, "Took me too long to raise a fighter like this, and he falls to a nobody." He drew his saber and charged to finish the job. Encrid braced for death. But Rem was faster. He blocked the strike with his axe, slamming the enemy back. The two clashed fiercely. Frog swung wildly, trying to break the distance, but couldn't land a hit. They paused, eyeing each other. Meanwhile, an enemy soldier snuck up behind Encrid with a spear. But Jackson rushed in from the flank, severing the enemy's head with one clean stroke. Encrid was saved again. The battle between Rem and Frog raged on. Rem taunted, "No one kills my commander without my say-so." Frog was stunned. "That weakling is the commander?" He assessed Rem, understanding the threat. Frogs were bred for battle, nearly unkillable except by magic or a single strike to the heart. Rem stood tall, unwavering. He would not yield. Frog read the truth in his posture. To kill him would be to risk his own life. It wasn't worth it. Frog retreated. The fight raged. Jackson, after saving his commander, tore through enemies. Severed heads flew. Encrid's squad, forged through blood and pain, fought like a single deadly organism. Finally, after hours, the retreat was called. That night, Encrid stood alone in the dark he knew so well.